Hello guys, I think that most of you are already familiar with the Postman, and what I would like to share today is that Postman have workspaces, and when we, for example, will go to Salesforce Developers Workspace, here we will be able to find, let's say, most active workspaces, and what is could be useful from there, it's that it's at this moment updatable library, updatable workspace, and from there we could see what kind of APIs we could currently use. You could see that we could use Pardot, we could use Salesforce APIs, we could use Commerce Cloud, Marketing Cloud, SDP, and for example, if we are going to Salesforce APIs, from there we could check, for example, for authorization, if we would like to get, let's say, password authentication, and if it's a post request, how URL should look like, what kind of headers we should include, and for example, what kind of body should also be included. Like for example, for this specific type of request, we expect here grant type, client ID, client secret, username and password, and also here what is available. We have available tests, and you could see how all this stuff should or could behave. So the same kind of information we could find if we need to get, for example, refresh token operation. You could find it from here. Here we have URL site. We could see the actual Salesforce service URL. We could find from here headers. We could find here body that should be used, and we could find tests. And there are a lot of good examples. For example, you could see that from here we could see user agent flow, web server flow. We could have here OpenID or possibility to get user info and all this stuff. So it's really interesting collection. Also, it's including REST, and from here, for example, we could work with S-object. Like if it's necessary for us to create S-object via Salesforce API, we could see from here what kind of endpoint we should use, what kind of general URL we should construct, where we have dynamic variables, and for example, what type of request it is, like for example, post, what kind of headers we should include, what kind of body we could include, and we could customize this body based on the subject that we are using. So the same, for example, for any other kind of operations, like for example, a subject row delete, what kind of URL should be, what kind of headers should be. So all this stuff we could find from here, and it's let's say pretty useful for us library. Because we could not just, let's say, perform basic operation, but in terms of also debugging or integration, for example, Salesforce with different debugging system, you could see that we could also use already prepared collection of possibility to get logs, for example, from here, when we're trying to grab something from event log files, and how it should look like, and possibility to have some scheduling, possibility to have platform events or process, or different kind of limits check. For example, let's see what do we have here. So if it's necessary for us to check limits, it's a get request. What we have in terms of tests, label consumed. Okay, so it's not sure about this code here provided for test. It's for percentage coverage. This look like limit name to string percent. Yeah, but meantime, you could also see that here we have tooling, different kind of API UI, possibility to interact with record, also Einstein prediction service, and a lot of good stuff you could find from this collection. So what I would like to share, I will just post this Postman link into description to that video. So thanks for the attention, and I hope this library will be useful for you.